Hello, everyone. My name is Randolph Pierre, a computer scientist, and this is my presentation for my CEN 4010 software engineering course. It was a pleasure this semester with our professor and our TAs. They were very helpful, and this was a very exciting project that I'd like to share with you. Now, the name of the project I chose to create was called the Gab App. Now, I've had some changes with it over time. I'll give you the name again. It's called the Gab mobile app. I'll give you a quick description on what it is. The Gab app, the Gab app is a mobile application software developed to translate speech into different languages. I'm sure you've heard of that before. It also returns responses modified for cultural dialect. As we all know, America is a nation of intellectual immigrants, and technology must be used so these people can share their ideas without any barrier. I can tell you from an example studying engineering. I've come across many people from different backgrounds. They're all very smart, and we all have different viewpoints on math and science and technology, of course. I've noticed that we all come from, because of our different cultural backgrounds, we have different viewpoints on certain things, and maybe we understand things differently because of that. So I wondered, what if we had an app that could actually help people, intellects, communicate better, so that a doctor from Russia or a doctor from China can be in the same room together. And if they have the Gab app, CGA, they'll be able to do it quite easily. Now, it's quite an ambitious endeavor, but we took some work and took some liberties to try and make this work. So let me give another description here for you. Let's go into some more detail. Let me tell you the purpose of this. I gave you a little bit of detail, but the purpose of the Gab app is to describe the functionality of the Gab software. In the scope in the Gab app, it takes words as input via text and it translates them to a selected language. We'll have data and charts to show you in a moment here. But what it doesn't do is take input via sound for its first version. So as long as you can type, we all can type, right? If you have a smartphone, you know how to type. It should be okay to go. You can use a smartphone, a laptop, or a desktop. So it works across platforms. It's a very, meticulous software. And we already spoke about a little bit of the goal. The goal of the software, CGA, is to facilitate seamless conversation between people speaking different languages. In addition, it aims to educate users so they can better communicate on their own. So not only does it help you with your day-to-day conversations, it also teaches you so you can use it less. This sounds counterintuitive, but the goal of this software is to help people. Now we're gonna veer left here a little bit. I'd like to show you some diagrams on what we worked on here, how things collaborate, how the system works with the software and hardware. So let's take a look here. Here we go. Hope you all can see that clearly. This is the user interface system. The UE subsystem interacts with the translation engine subsystem to facilitate user input and display translated text. That's smart engineering talk just to say that it's going to take the input on a basic screen. Quite simple. We want to keep it simple for the user. So let's look down here at the diagram here. As you can see my mouse, you've got the user interface here and the UI subsystem. This platform you can use, as we mentioned before, it could be a smartphone, it could be a laptop, it could be a desktop. It integrates with the UI subsystem. Over here, primarily we use the Android and iPhone. And we're dealing with the translation engine that connects to a subsystem. And through that, it can convert language data, and it saves things in a repository that you've used before. So quite complex, but quite simple at the same time. Let's look at a functional description of how things work. Right here, you have the user input, basically when you're typing in. And then you have the user input system. This is a system that we've just discussed over here. which connects to the translation engine. So this is how it works. The user puts in their request. It connects to the UI system. It goes into a translation engine. It returns a response and also puts it into a repository. It does this all in pretty much the speed of light. This is a decomposition of diagram. Has language detection, which is very important, if you can see down here. Sometimes we don't know where we're speaking or any misspelling. The system will suggest what language you may be speaking, whether it's Korean or English or Spanish. Not really mattering. Creole would be quite complex with the repository. And we can look at it here. See, this is the user interface subsystem here that we're looking at. It's responsible for presenting the user interface components to the user. You see how the diagram goes. It has navigation controls, which handles navigation between different screens and functionalities within the app. Let's look at the interface design, which is the part I really want to get to you. We only have about 10 minutes. I don't know how much time we have left. But before we get to the description, I want you to see how it looks here. Here's the login screen. As I mentioned, we wanted to keep things basic. Dealing with travelers on the go, you don't want things to be difficult. Quite simple. You got the input here and your password and your login. And then you have the text entry screen. As you can see here at the top left, we have a history icon. So you don't have to always type what you've done before. You can just click into the history. You can see those translations. We thought this was very innovative here, this history icon. Serves as a kind of library that the user can use to teach themselves so they don't have to keep coming back. And as you can see here, you can select what language you translate to. It gives you that direct translation and also the cultural translation that we spoke of before. You can always clear the form. If you want to know a little bit about here, the entering text, this allows the user to enter their text in the language they selected with the select language icon. The translate to, this allows the user to enter their text in the language they selected with the select language icon. Translation, CGA, i.e. Culture Gab App, will access an internal library to give an exact translation for the text received and return it in the desired language selected. Clean that up there a little bit. Then there's the cultural translation. This gives an additional translation from an internal library designed to emphasize the cultural background of the language selected. A good example is this. Good morning. This is a good one here. Good morning would also translate to, what's up, bro? Now, if you're a foreigner in America, you're trying to tell someone good morning, you would get the literal good morning. But then you would also get the cultural translation. What's up, bro? This is also teaching you how people communicate in America with their linguistics. You can also clear the form, as we've discussed. You can see the screen images here that we just went over. So that's what we have in summation. Again, my name is Randolph Pierre, computer scientist. It was a pleasure presenting this project to you all, working all semester on this. It was fun, actually. Fun and challenging. It's fun being an engineer. It was a pleasure showing this to you all. If you have any questions, I am a student at Florida Atlantic University, aspiring to be a computer scientist. And once I become that, sky's the limit. But the Culture Gab App, I hope you like this presentation. Pretty straightforward. Nice description of what we have to do here. And I hope you like the idea and how it's set up. And I hope you have a great day here. And I hope this video reached you well. Blessings from me to you. Thank you.